Trojan family, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. It's the top of the morning. Listen, I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, you guys already know I did a video yesterday. Can USC's offense help the defense? And man, look, the response has been incredible, man. Man, I can't even tell you how many comments. The comments were, I'm going on 250 comments, but it wasn't just the amount of comments. It was the details of some of the comments, man. When you're talking about playing in Colorado and some of the, and I gotta read them to you. I gotta show you guys these comments because the response was crazy. And you're talking about running Marshawn Lloyd more, and different people had the different opinions. And look, like I tell everybody, it's okay to agree to disagree. Listen, this is called the Trojan family for one reason, because all family has issues. Families have back and forth. Families, they have love hate relationships. But guess what? Families always stay together. And at the end of the day, it's okay. I told one guy, I said, look, I can't even remember his name, but I said it's okay to agree to disagree. It's no problem. Listen, I have my opinion, you have your opinions. And look, let's reason together and really come up. Look, we're not going to come up with the solution. We're just giving our commentary, but the coaches are going to come up with the solution. But let's come up with some commentary, some ideas and thoughts. Maybe the coaches may hear it, because at the end of the day, we want to see this team succeed. We want to see success on the field. And I like the brainstorming. It's really, that's all we're doing. We're essentially brainstorming ideas, brainstorming thoughts, and putting it together, man. Everybody has their different thoughts. I've seen some people say they want to see a different defense. They want to implement a different defense, a 4-3. I see some that say, let's put 3 linebacker sets. I see some that say, let's do away with the 5 DBs. I mean, you see all these different ideas. You know why? Because they want to see championship football. They want to see a championship team. And I absolutely love that. That's just showing that we all have passion for the USC Trojans. But at the end of the day, we want to see what's done right. We want to see fair, we want to see balance, and we want to see a good brand of football, offensively and defense. We want to see complete balance. And I want to read to some of these comments to you guys. There were some interesting things when I brought up the point of Marshawn Lloyd yesterday, that different people, different guys in the comments brought up, and they made some incredible points, man. So I want you guys to take a look at this, and I want to show you guys the Heisman odds. The Heisman odds are out. And look, you guys can tell me what you think about him, man. Caleb, his numbers are up there. You know, he's having a phenomenal year once again. He's looked like he has the sidearm throw down. I mean, he has it all down. Caleb is the guy. I mean, he is a generational quarterback. And listen, to speaking of the generational quarterback in Caleb, we got to get this right. We have to get this right within the next few weeks. We have to get it right. Because we got some big games. We got Arizona game that's not a sleeper at all. We got to get Arizona game right. We got to take it game by game, but we got to get Notre Dame game right. Whatever little tweaks we got to do scheme wise, whatever we have to do. Look, we could all agree that something has to change, and it has to change now. And so, man, let's take a look real quick at some of these comments as it relates to. I just want to give you guys a better idea of some things that possibly could have happened as it relates to our team. There are no excuses, but at the end of the day, we'll take a look at this information real quick. Let's take a look. I want to show you guys this. I went back and took a look at some of the statistics, the stats for the game, and I'm looking at here. Of course, you see the 48-41 game. We won this game. USC goes to 5-0. But let's look at the rushing yards and the passing yards real quick. You see USC at 95, and then Colorado at 93. Now, it's important that you understand. Look at the 193, but then go all the way at the bottom. Look at the 32 minutes that they had the ball. And then look at our 27 minutes that we've had it. And then look at the 95 yards. They almost had just as much as us passing, but then doubled us in the rushing yards. Now, if you look at this number at the bottom, 3 minutes and 32 minutes and 5 seconds, and then 27 minutes and 55 seconds. You do the math on that, it's about 4 minutes. 4 minutes and 4.5 minutes that they had the ball longer. Now, my biggest deal was let's control the clock and keep the ball away if you see that our defense, because ironically, you don't just go up 41 points and you're kind of lively. I looked at Mason Cobb had a nice sack. I looked at different guys were having sacks. Jamil Muhammad, these guys were very explosive. But all of a sudden, things just begin to change, and everybody's wondering, like, Jay, how are these things changing? What's happening right now? And after looking at some of these comments, man, I've already known it, but to put it in detail and put it in comments and word it the way they did, it really just brought out some things. And I want to show you guys real quick as it relates to this. Let's take a look at it. All right, this is the first one I want to look at. His name is Todd, man. This is a very interesting comment. He says this: Boulder, Colorado is 5,430 feet above sea level and less oxygen fills the body when you breathe at this altitude compared to Los Angeles and USC campus near sea level. Breathing thin air could have led to early, unexpected, unusual fatigue in the USC football players in the second half of the game on both sides of the ball. The Colorado players are acclimated to this high altitude and are not affected by the low oxygen levels, which gave them an edge in the game. I did not see any, and this is a point that I brought up because you guys already know last week doing Mason Cobb's interview, I thought it was kind of strange when they asked him, how have you guys prepared for this game? And he basically, I don't know if you guys remember me saying, he basically said it basically diet and water or something to that nature. It's not verbatim, but I never heard them say anything, and that crossed my mind about oxygen mask. Did they have any of that? But he says, I did not see any USC players use supplemental oxygen masks during the game on the sideline. Watch next week when they play but he thinks we're going to play at Arizona, but we actually going to play in Los Angeles. But the week before we played in Arizona, there might have been some issues with that as well, as a little bit of fatigue. But this is 5,000. I think Arizona may be 4,000 sea level, but this here is 5,430 feet. It was a drastic change, man. So look, I think it's still go time, man. You guys are gonna hear from me first. I believe this team is going to the playoffs. I still believe it. I think some things are going to be tightened up. I think we have too many guys that are highly competitive, too many guys that are highly recruited, and guys that, and the way our defensive line has been performing, I believe it's going to catch on. Now, here's the $1 million question I want to know, because me and Jaywalk and myself and a guy by the name of Brandon, all of us kind of had a conversation as to, do you think it's too late right now to even implement? Of course, the coaches will decide to implement maybe a base defense of like a 4-3 with three linebackers. Maybe you put like a Jamil Muhammad, Rajon, and then you put like an Eric Gentry back there. We just want to know, what are your thoughts on that? And then we could just put a 3-down lineman. But I mean, we just have to figure that out as we continue to discuss this. But listen, whatever the case may be, it has to be fixed right now. This defense has to be fixed within a matter of this week in Arizona, and then moving on to Notre Dame. And if I'm be quite honest, I'm more concerned about Arizona than Notre Dame. It just seems like offensively they're a little bit more explosive. Now defensively, Notre Dame may have more explosiveness, but Arizona, from an offensive standpoint, you guys seen how they played Washington. They played them pretty tight, able to move the ball on them. And well, we know that Washington defense is not all that good, but still, Arizona, that's one of those teams that you can't play around with. They're kind of tricky, especially with the quarterback, and they're getting better and better and better. So look, you guys hit me in the comments. I got one more for you. I want you guys to take a look at real quick. And here's Ray's boom 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 room. He says, this was a comment to my video. I pretty much said this in your live, but I'm going to add it. He said, and there is historical presidents in SC's championship pass for it all. Let's go down to where he was talking about. Okay, here it is. He says, now, there is a reason boxers train at high altitude. Well, he made a good point up here, too. Let me read this. He says, before the start, remember Caleb's goals this year was 60 touchdowns, because we were talking about the pass ratio as far as the running. But he said 60 TDs, no picks, and 5,000 yards. Now, there's a reason for boxers to train at altitude. There's a reason that world's best distance runners come from Ethiopia, Kenya. They live and train at altitude. Colorado and schools at altitude have built in real biological, quantifiable home field advantage versus sea level teams. As such, sea level teams must prep for those games differently while having a different four-quarter game plan for them, as well as to avoid altitude-related exhaustion on defense. Listen, I'm reading this to basically let you guys know, look, it is real. That's the only explanation even though we've had issues, yes, I can't deny that we haven't had issues in the past with the defense just blowing leads. But the way it looked to these guys and the way they started off the game, it looked like this was going to be an absolute blowout. It did look like the Tulane game, but this looked like, I mean, this was even more so. You're talking about 41-14, and for things just to kind of deteriorate the way they did, I felt like, of course, you got to run the ball, man. You got to run the ball. And just let me give you a stat. Marshawn Lloyd, coincidentally, according to PFF, is the number one running back this week. The number one graded running back this week. And that's according to PFF. And I have the exact number here for Marshawn Lloyd. Let's see. Right here. Marshawn Lloyd is a 91.8 running back. And then the second one is going to be Jordan James for Oregon, 91.2. Jonathan Brooks, Texas, 90.2. And then Ray Davis from Kentucky, 88.8. And then Braylon Allen from Wisconsin, 87.7. So this week, Marshawn Lloyd only had 13 carries for 84 yards, and he only had 2 carries in the second half, which is even more questionable, which is even more so why, look, we need to get these guys rolling to keep these defense off the field with this altitude situation that's taking place, man. So, look, that's a couple of things I have for you. I got one more thing I want to take a look at as it relates to the Heisman. All right, so here is the Heisman Watch, and you see where Caleb is. You got Michael Penix, 2,008 yards total, 16 total TDs, and then 2 INTs. Crazy and oddly enough, shout out to my man Phil. He pointed this out to me. Michael Penix didn't even have any touchdowns in the game against Arizona, which was oddly strange, weird, very weird. Caleb Williams, you see him here, 1,686 yards total yards, and then 24 TDs, 1 INT, and that came, you guys already know, in the Colorado game. Quinn Ewers, 1,432 total yards, 15 total touchdowns, and then 1 INT. Bo Nix, 1,546 total yards, and then 16 total TDs, 1 INT. And then you see here Florida State, Jordan Travis, 1,122 total yards, 12 total TDs, and then 1 INT. And you see Jaden Daniels, 2,002 yards, 19 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And Sam Hartman, 1,472, 16 total TDs. No INT. So you see Caleb and really Michael Penix is those are the guys right now. Those are the leaders. They're really kind of standing alone. And really Michael Penix at this point, he's standing alone in yardage, but Caleb is killing it right now in TDs and beating him in interceptions. So look, this thing is going to balance itself out by the year before the year ends. And I think it's going to be straight up go time, man. Look, you guys hit me in the comment section. Give me your thoughts, man. Do you guys think that sea level 5,000 feet was a little bit too much for our defense? And I already know you guys think the scheme, but do you think some of that was a part in it? Do you think it played a part in it? And yes, USC has to absolutely get this right before we face this Washington team, this Notre Dame team, and this Oregon team. All these guys, these quarterbacks that are in the Heisman Watch, USC has to absolutely face. So look, man, you guys hit me in the comments. You guys tell me what you think. Until later on, stay blessed. All right, does that open your eyes up to some of the things that possibly could have been taking place as to maybe why some of our players possibly got gassed? It is a real possibility. Like I stated before, there's no excuse for some of the scheme issues, especially the big gaping holes that were there with Shiloh Sanders going up the middle. But look, man, it's time to put this thing to rest. It's go time. It's on and popping. Listen, it's time to make it happen. Look, we got to look forward to Arizona. Look, I'm about to get ready to start researching Arizona. You guys already know they lost by 7 points against Washington. Very close game. From what I understand, from what I read today, it looks like Jaden Delore will be back. That quarterback is the one that absolutely sliced us up yet last year. However, we do have one of his receivers, which is Dorian Singer. So I think USC, of course, has a good opportunity being that we're at home. But then after that, it's a big week. But we can't even look to that. Let's just deal with this week. We're going to play a physical. The running backs are good. The receivers are good. And we got to get this right this week, starting with Arizona, man. It's going to be straight up go time, man. So, look, you guys hit me in the comment section. You guys tell me what you think. You guys already know where you can find me. It's going to be USCJ32 on Instagram, USCJ32 on Twitter. Listen, until later on, everybody stay blessed. Fight on, fight on, fight on.